Before we deconstruct the terrifying reality of how your executive autonomy is being silently hijacked, I have exactly 3 critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number 1. When your company's AI dashboard recommends terminating an employee or rejecting a vendor, do you blindly execute the command or do you possess the biological framework to audit the machine's logic? Number 2. Are you aware that algorithmic systems you rely on daily are fundamentally poisoned by historical human prejudice, quietly stripping away your professional integrity? Number 3. In a corporate landscape dominated by artificial intelligence, do you understand why high-stakes emotional intelligence (EQ) is now the most highly compensated, mathematically scarce asset in the global market? Let me know your answers. If you're new to the channel, here is my intro. I'm Dr. HR and I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional comforting advice, but as a structural algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in Human Resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in Computer Engineering, operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders across the Middle East and Indian subcontinent. I have monitored exactly how executive leverage is built and how it is violently destroyed. The market does not reward you for outsourcing your judgment to a machine. It rewards you for your sovereign biological intuition. Your leadership isn't as independent as you think it is. Right now, as you watch this, invisible algorithmic biases are quietly hijacking your executive decision and systematically stripping away your professional integrity. If you do not learn how to aggressively stress test your logic against these automated prejudice using emotional intelligence, the EQ audits, you are no longer an executive. You are just a biological puppet executing commands for skewed data. In this ruthless era of algorithmic efficiency, cold logic is catastrophically failing to interpret critical human nuance. This is creating a dangerous, expensive friction in the boardroom. We are deploying the high-level emotional intelligence audits to protect your influence from being tainted by machine error. You must master the delicate, high-stake balance between empathetic intuition and raw data to ensure your leadership remains untainted and sovereign. It is May 2026, and relying solely on automated systems is the absolute fastest way to lose your executive edge. By mastering emotional intelligence auditing, you can identify exactly where algorithms mathematically misinterpret human complexity. This is how you safeguard your professional integrity and maintain a human-centric influence in a world entirely driven by code. Before I completely dismantle the illusion of objective algorithms, expose the exact mechanics of data poisoning, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to audit your AI system using weaponized emotional intelligence, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop letting the machine dictate your morality. Grab a notebook, it is time to audit the algorithm. Phase 1. The provocative warning, the algorithmic puppet. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating illusion that has infected the C-suite and executive boardroom across Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Bangalore. For the last 3 years, executives has been sold a highly toxic narrative by Silicon Valley. Data is objective. Algorithms are neutral. Remove human emotions from your decision-making entirely on AI dashboard, and your company will achieve perfect operational efficiency. Executives, exhausted by a biological friction of managing human beings, eagerly swallowed this lie. They outsourced their recruitment, their performance review, their supply chain routing, and their risk assessment to large language models and predictive algorithms. This is the algorithmic puppet trap. Your leadership is not independent. When you look at an AI-generated dashboard that flags a specific department as low performing and you instantly sign the authorization to cut their budget, you believe you are making a data-driven leadership decision. You are not. You are simply the biological hand that signs the paperwork for a mathematical equation you do not understand. What the software salesperson did not tell you is that algorithms are not neutral. They are fundamentally mathematically prejudiced. An AI does not possess a sovereign intellect. It is a pattern matching engine trained on the historical data of human behavior. If historical data of your corporation contains massive undocumented bias, favoritism, gender discrimination, localized culture prejudice, the AI will not fix those biases. It will institutionalize them. It will scale them to infinity. It will hide them behind a sterile, unassailable facade of objective data. If you do not learn how to stress test your logic against these automated prejudice using emotional intelligence, your professional integrity is evaporating. You are executing biased, flawed decisions at the speed of light when the catastrophic failures occurs. When the massive lawsuits hit or the top-tier talent revolt, the algorithm will not go to jail. You will. You are legal and moral liability for the machine's hallucination. Phase 2. The high-stakes solution, the failure of cold logic. To understand how to protect your influence, we must examine exactly where the machine fails. We must deconstruct the failure of cold logic in the empathy void. In May 2026, the cold logic is failing to interpret critical human nuances. Let us map a real-world high-stakes collusion inside a Tier 1 financial institution in Dubai International Finance Center (DIFC). The corporation uses an advanced AI performance management system to audit its investment bankers. The algorithm tracks total deal volume, emails sent, hours logged into terminal, and revenue generated. At the end of the Q2, the AI flags the senior director for termination. The cold data is undeniable. The director's deal volume has dropped by 30%, their terminal hours are down, and their direct revenue generation is the lowest in the division. The amateur executive looks at the red numbers on the dashboard and fires the director. The sovereign executive deploys a high-level emotional intelligence audit. The sovereign executive refuses to act as a puppet. They halt the algorithmic execution, they step into the physical environment, they deploy biological intuition. They initiate a friction-based dialogue with a broader team. What the AI mathematically failed to capture is the invisible emotional labor. The senior director's number dropped because of the last 3 months. They have been secretly mentoring and stabilizing a team of junior analysts who were on the verge of a psychological collapse due to a toxic middle manager. The senior director absorbed massive emotional trauma to keep the analyst from quitting. They sacrificed their personal deal flow to repair the social fabric of the department. Furthermore, the senior director spent weeks executing high-stakes, unquantifiable relationship building with a massive sovereign wealth fund client in Abu Dhabi. They didn't log into the CRM because it happened in Majlis over coffee, navigating deep cultural trust structures that cannot be translated into a drop-down menu. If you execute the AI's recommendation, you fire the absolute cultural keystone of your department. You destroy the biological glue holding your junior team together, and you alienate a multi-billion dirham client. The algorithms only measures what is easily quantifiable. It measures syntax, keystrokes, and closed invoices. It is completely blind to loyalty, trust, exhaustion, morale, and nuanced human ego. Mastering the balance between the empathetic intuition and the data is the only way to ensure your leadership remains untainted by a catastrophic machine error. Phase 3. The physics of the data poisoning, the historical trap. We must dive deeper into the architectural mechanics of why the machine makes these errors. You must understand the physics of the data poisoning. When we talk about bias, people often assume it means the machine is intentionally malicious. The machine is not malicious, it is a mirror. Let us look at the recruitment matrices currently dominating the Indian IT sector and the UAE tech hubs. You purchase an AI screening tool to filter 10,000 resumes down to the top 50 candidates. You train the AI on the resumes of the people who have historically succeeded at your company over last 15 years. You believe you are building an objective filter. But what does the historical data actually show? For the last 15 years, your HR department, operating under legacy biased biological management, predominantly hired and promoted men from very specific universities, living in a very specific zip codes. The AI ingests this data. It does not understand why these people were successful, it only recognizes the pattern. The AI silently rewrites its internal algorithm. To be successful at this firm, the candidates must be a male from this specific university and have these specific hobbies. When a brilliant, self-taught apex female operator from a non-traditional background submits her resume, the AI instantly digitally incinerates. She does not match the historical pattern of the success. The AI has efficiently, ruthlessly optimized your company for terminal homogeneity. It has logged your corporation into prejudices of the past. As an executive, if you do not actively deploy an EQ audit on your recruitment pipeline, you are mathematically guaranteeing that your company will never acquire asymmetrical, diverse, out-of-the-box talent. You will build an echo chamber of identical clones and your firm will be annihilated by a more cognitive diverse competitor. You must identify exactly where the algorithms misinterpret human complexity. You cannot assume the output is pure. You must assume the output is highly sophisticated, data-driven hallucination built on a flawed biology of your predecessor. Phase 4. The EQ Auditing Protocol, stress testing the machine. We have diagnosed the algorithmic puppet trap, the failure of a cold logic, and the physics of data poisoning. Now you must execute the defense. How do you actually protect your leadership? You must deploy the Emotional Intelligence Auditing Protocol. Emotional intelligence is no longer just a soft skill for making people feel good. In the 2026, EQ is a hard structural defensive weapon. It is your cryptographic firewall against machine error. Here is the exact architectural blueprint to audit your AI. Step 1. The intuition pause, breaking the loop. The machine is designed to make you act fast. When an AI generates a recommendation, it presents it with absolute sterile certainty. The first step of the EQ audit is the intuition pause. You must deliberately inject latency into your decision making. You look at the data and you force your biological hardware to pause for 24 hours. You ask your nervous system, does this data align with my ambient biological read of a situation? If the data says read of the situation, if the data says a project is failing, but your biological intuition sends high morale and impending breakthrough, you do not ignore your intuition, you weaponize it. Step 2. Contextual interrogation, the why matrix. Algorithms answer the what. Emotional intelligence answers the why. When the AI flags a vendor for delayed delivery and recommends terminating the contract, you do not just execute. You initiate a contextual interrogation. Use targeted empathy to investigate the supply chain's managers on the vendor side. You discover that their delay was caused by a localized geopolitical crisis they were quietly navigating to protect your timeline supply route. The AI saw a missed deadline. Your EQ saw a vendor sacrificing their own margin to shield you from a large disaster. You override the AI and deepen the partnership. Step 3. The edge case hunt, auditing the outlier. AI optimizes for the mean. It operates flawlessly in the center of the bell curve. It completely fails at the edges. As a sovereign executive, you must randomly audit the resumes the AI rejected. You must manually review the client the AI flagged as low value. You use your human empathy to see if the machine discarded a diamond because the diamond didn't fit the shape of the algorithm's predetermined box. Step 4. The reverse bias check. Check before finalizing any major structural decision recommended by an algorithm. You deploy the reverse bias check. You ask yourself, if I apply this algorithmic logic universally, who gets systematically destroyed by it? What invisible human friction am I failing to measure? If the AI recommends a rigid global return to office mandate because it calculates a 4% increase in communication speed, your EQ audit must calculate the invisible biological cost, the destruction of the autonomy, the spike in the commuting cortisol, and the immediate resignation of your top-tier operator who demands sovereignty. You weigh the machine's 4% communication gain against the biological reality of mass attrition. You override the machine. Phase 5, the sovereign executive, the future-proof edge. The final phase is integrating this protocol into your permanent executive identity. This is your future-proof competitive edge. It is May 2026. The corporate world is completely bifurcating. On one side, you have the algorithmic manager. These are the executives who have surrendered completely to the dashboard. They let the AI write their emails, manage their teams, execute their hiring, and define their strategy. They are highly efficient and they are completely, utterly replaceable. If all an executive does is approve the output of a machine, the board of directors will eventually realize they can just automate the executive. On the other side, you have the sovereign executive. The sovereign executives understand that the AI is a commodity. Intelligence is cheap, calculation is free. What is mathematically scarce? What commands the multi-million dirham compensation packages in the elite boardrooms of Dubai, Singapore, and New York? The high-stakes biological judgment. The market pays an absolute premium for the human operator who possesses the emotional bandwidth to look a complex, terrifying machine in the eye, audits its calculation, and have the unshakable confidence to say the math is correct, but the math is wrong for our humanity. We are going a different way. By mastering the emotional intelligence auditing, you protect your influence from being tainted by the sterile, biased output of shadow algorithms. You maintain a human-centric influence in a world driven by code. When you sit at the head of a boardroom, you do not present yourself as a biological calculator. You present yourself as the ultimate unautomatable judge. You use the AI to gather the evidence, but you strictly reserve the final verdict for your own messy, intuitive, brilliant human soul. Look closely at the decisions you made this week. How many of them were truly yours? And how many were quietly handed to you by a biased algorithm? Your leadership is under attack. The invisible code is trying to turn you into a puppet. Stop blindly trusting the dashboard. Deploy the empathy override. Inject friction into the process. Audit the machine with your humanity and ensure that your executive sovereignty remains absolute, untouchable, and mathematically yours. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.